YouTube? I'm back again today for another game review, and today I'm very excited to check out Cities of Splendors, the expansion for the immensely popular Splendor from Space Cowboys. This is for 2 to 4 players, take about 30 minutes to play, and it's for ages 10 plus. And in Cities of Splendors, there are going to be 4 different modules, 4 different expansions you will be able to mix into your base game of Splendor. Now, they also say on the box that you're not supposed to mix them at the same time. So there are 4 different expansions. You're supposed to use one at a time when mixing them into the game. Do I like those expansions, though? Let's open it up, and I'll tell you what I think. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Cities of Splendor. So before I get started, I do want to mention there's 4 different modules here. I'm just going to show you all 4 of those modules and a little bit of how they work. I'm not actually going to be teaching you how to play the base game of Splendor. You can check out any other video to do that. So first, you're going to get your handy-dandy little rule pamphlet things. These are one-page, double-sided, full color, full of pictures, illustrations, examples, and they will teach you how to play that expansion very, very well. So big thumbs up. I really like how they did this. You don't have an entire rule booklet. Whichever one you want to play, you just get it out, and you can very quickly figure out how to do it. So first, we're going to talk about the Strongholds, which I've heard most people saying is their least favorite expansion. So the Strongholds variant is going to give you these Strongholds right here. And you are going to get 3 of your particular colors. So you pick a color, you'll get 3, and then you'll be on your merry way. And how this works is you're going to play a completely regular game of Splendor. Just regular Splendor, except that when you purchase a card from out in the row out here, you'll have to take one of your Strongholds and either place it on a card that's out there, or move a Stronghold that you already have out on the board, or get rid of someone else's Stronghold. Now, what does a Stronghold do? So let's just say I bought a cheap card from the bottom row down here. I could be looking up here at the top, and I might put a Stronghold card and a card up the top, and no one can purchase that card ever unless they move my Stronghold. Now, also another neat thing about this is as you continue to purchase more cards, you can continue to put Strongholds out, and you can put them on different cards like that, or you can put them on the same card. And if you ever have 3 Strongholds on the same card, then you will have the option to purchase that card after you purchase any other card. So it's really kind of interesting there. You can kind of stake your claim, so to speak. So let's just say you're working for one big card up here and you just want to keep putting your Strongholds on there to let people know that, hey, this is mine. But at the same time, they can also move yours off there. It does add a bit of meanness to the game. I'll tell you more on my thoughts about it on the pros and cons, but that's all you're going to get inside of the Strongholds. Next, we have the Trading Post, which is this one right here. And I like to call this the superhero one. I really do like this one. Essentially, you're going to have this board out here, and this is the biggest change to the game. How it works is you're going to get your color of tokens. So you'll be picking a color, you'll get those color of tokens, and when you reach certain thresholds in the game, then you will gain a superpower, so to speak. So, for instance, if you ever have 3 of the brown types of cards, each of these little guys that you put out will earn you 1 victory point. If you ever get 5 greens plus a noble, then you'll get 5 victory points. This one, if you ever have 3 blue and 1 brown card in front of you, then each gold that you take will equal 2 of the same thing. So, for instance, you could use a gold as 2 reds, 2 blues, 2 blacks, anything like that. Next, 2 whites. This is going to make 2 equal ones equal anything you want. So essentially they're wild. And last but not least, we have this one right here, which is going to allow you to have 3 red and 1 white. You get to take 1 gem after you purchase a card. This one is incredibly powerful and really changes how you play the game a little bit, because now you can start getting cheap ones, and if you can get them for free, then you also can get a gem at the same time. So very, very powerful, very cool one. That is the Trading Posts. So next, we have the cities, and this one is going to completely change the end game condition of the game. Remember, 15 points. 15 points is out the window. So you're going to put a couple of these out here, and this is going to change the end game condition. So you'll have different end game conditions that people will be going after. So let's just say we had these 3 out on the board. Oh, terrible glare. This would mean that the game will end whenever anyone has 17 points, or whenever anyone has 11 points and 3 of each of these types of cards, or whenever someone has 15 points and 5 of the same type of cards. So 5 browns, 5 whites, so on and so forth. And you're going to get 7 of these out of the jump, but these will drastically change the end game condition, because that is one thing that a lot of people did not like, was about how the end game condition worked in Splendor. Last but not least, we have the last one that's going to add new cards. Oh, but we probably should mention you get a first player token, which is a much welcomed addition to the game as well. But let's start talking about the Cities expansion. So the Cities expansion is going to add 6 more cards to the table right here. Oh gosh, so much glare. It's going to add 6 more cards to the table. So you'll still have all your regular level 1s, level 2, level 3. So you have 5 cards set out here. But now you can purchase these cards. And as you can see, these cards are very, very different. So for instance, if you purchase this card, it's like having 2 gold chips in your hand. You can spend these whenever you want. You have to spend them at the same time. But these can really come in handy. Also, you're going to see this little satchel symbol right here. That just means that it will copy the symbol that was there. So if you had this, you would have 2 greens. So essentially, this one gives you a little bit more versatility, especially if you're working towards those nobles. But once it's in place, it's in place. Moving up to row number 2, we have, the oh-so-desired double red. So this counts as 2 reds towards noble, also 2 reds towards purchasing things. Very, very good card, and that comes in all the different colors, white, green, blue, and brown. Also, you'll notice these symbols right here. This will mean that when you take this level 2 card, you immediately get to take any level 1 card that you want, which can be huge. I mean, that could be a victory point right there. This one's really interesting as well. This allows you to reserve a noble, so no one else can use that noble for the entire game. And this one is a really good card for reactionary. Like if you see someone's completely working towards a noble and they're going to get their 4 red, 4 green or whatever, you take this card, boom, they can't even have that noble. You've just deprived them at 3 points. Also giving yourself 1 point. So it's not as bad as it normally is to hurt other people. So normally in this game, when you hurt people, it kind of is a big detriment to you. This makes it so it's not as big of a detriment to you. Last, we'll go to the top row. This one's going to allow you to get a green, but also a level 2 card, which will give you some points. This one, very interesting. This one's going to give you 3 victory points in a blue, but you have to give up 2 of your white cards. So if you have 2 cheap white cards that you don't mind parting with, that's a great way to get those points as well. But anywho, it's going to add that row, and you're still going to play regular Splendor rules. But that, in a nutshell, are all the expansions you're going to be getting inside of Cities of Splendor. Alright then, Cities of Splendor from Space Cowboys. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. Still 2 to 4 players, restricted player count. I wish one of them would have added a 5th player. That would have been nice. Also, the box. I'm going to give a little gripe on the box. I wish the box would have been slightly larger so it could hold all the stuff from Splendor and Cities of Splendor. Because here's the thing. Splendor has a really great box insert. And Cities of Splendor also has a really great box insert. But you can't fit everything into the Cities of Splendor box insert. So what's the point of having a nice box insert? We don't want to have 2 boxes on our shelves, Asmodee. Just give me a freaking empty box. Just rip this out. Let's go crazy. Yeah, but that's more of a nitpick. I hate when companies do that. Continuing on to the actual gameplay, though, let's talk about the 4 different expansions there. I like all 4 of them, but I will say Strongholds is probably my least favorite. I think Strongholds is everybody's least favorite. It just adds a little weird awkwardness to the game. Like you have to put out your stronghold, or you have to move a stronghold, or you have to get rid of a stronghold before you flip the next card. You'll consistently find yourself, oh, we flip the next card, don't look at it. Not that it really matters that much, but it still kind of does. And it's just a little bit more mean-spirited than I'm used to with Splendor. Now, if you like playing mean games and you like Splendor, then that might be good for you. And me personally, I do like this module. I'm just saying it's my least favorite of the 4 modules. But I'm also saying that this is the one that's easiest to mix in. So it says you can only mix 1 module at a time in the game. And that's also another con I have. I hate when game companies do that. But I will say you could probably mix this in with all the other game modules as far as I'm concerned, if you like it. So, any other cons I have of the game? Oh, if you didn't like the original Splendor, I don't know if this does enough to change your mind. I feel like most people didn't like the original Splendor because it's, just themeless, oatmeal. And it's still pretty much themeless oatmeal. It's just themeless oatmeal with a little bit more to think about and a little bit more going on and a little bit more variety, which I loved the original themeless oatmeal, so I love this expansion as well. Moving on to the pros. Let's just get to the pros. This is a fantastic expansion. It really is. It adds 4 new modules. I like all 4 modules. Now, that being said, Stronghold is a solid number 4. It's number 4 with a bullet. And then 3, 2, 1, it's a little bit more wiggly. So let's talk about which ones I like the best and why. So first, we have the cities that has the different end conditions. This would probably be my 3rd favorite. I do like it. I think it really changes it up, and I think a lot of people are going to like this and are going to want to mix this pretty consistently. I wish there were some more. I wish there were some more interesting ones. I don't know. But yeah, it's good. It's good, and it changes up the game, which is exactly what you want if you like Splendor. So I put Cities at my number 3. It's one that I'll play with from time to time when people want to, but most likely Trading Post and the Orient are the ones I'm going to be going for primarily. So I would put Trading Post at number 2. That's the one where you get your own little tokens, and then you unlock the special superhero abilities progressively as you go through the game. And one gripe I do have with this is that I wish it was double-sided. I wish you could play with these ones, and then you could play with these ones. Maybe you could even rip this in half and make it double-sided so you can mix and match and have different ones each time. I would like to see more of these in the future because I think that's a really cool ability, having special abilities that you have and maybe somebody else has, but the other two people do not have at the table, to be like, oh man, that'd be really so great if I had it, but I'm not going for those colors. I really like that expansion, the Trading Post. But my number 1, without a doubt, is the Orient. I like the Orient the best. That's the one that adds the 6 new cards to the table, which I will say bumps up the analysis paralysis a little bit in this game. And that's a little bit of a bummer because I feel like Trading Post and Cities actually dulls down the analysis paralysis just a bit because you're more on a straight path towards what you want to do. Whereas I feel like the Orient, there's just 6 more cards to look at, more possibilities. Do I want to go for those 2 gold chips? Do I want to go for the double red? I mean, I personally do love it, though. I really like the Orient. I think it's a cool expansion. I can't wait in the future if they come out with more expansions and more cards that you'll be able to intermingle and intertwinkle into there because they are really cool special abilities that they included with that. And I hope they go crazy. I hope they really come out with some interesting, diverse, completely different stuff in that deck. They probably won't because, this is a pretty vanilla game, but I love me some vanilla. So Splendor, Cities of Splendor. I love Cities of Splendor. It moves Splendor up my top games of all time list. I don't think it'll ever crack my top 10 or 20 or anything like that, unless it already did. But yeah, it still is one of my go-to gateway games. It's up there with King of Tokyo and Ticket to Ride, and this expansion only just adds that. Now, there's another good question that I probably should answer. Do I think I would play with these expansions with new people? And for that, I would say yes. Aside from Strongholds, because I don't want to give them the idea that this is a mean game, I would definitely play with the Cities expansion, which is going to give you the alternate victory conditions. Because really, the only rule change is, hey, instead of going to 15 points, the game is going to end when you do this, this, or this. So you have to be working to do one of these 3 things, and I feel like that's very self-explanatory as well. The Orient, I probably would not do with newer gamers, just because you have to explain more things. And then the Trading Post, yeah, maybe. I probably would if they played a couple of other games. But yes, I still think these are good as Gateway Plus expansions as well. And I feel like I'm rambling at this point. If you can't tell, Cities of Splendor, I really enjoy it. Go check it out. If you like Splendor, go get this. It's a no-brainer. If you don't like Splendor, this is a no-brainer. You probably shouldn't get this. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know. If you lived in the city of Splendor, what would you do? Let's see. Let's look at some cards. For me personally, I would... I don't know. I'd probably work on the docks or something. Tie in ropes. I don't know. It's such a boring city. Let me know in the comments below. What would you do in the Cities of Splendor? As always, thanks for your time, YouTube.